Coming up tonight on YCN News, talk about town charters in the Upper Valley continues in Hartford, Vermont. U.S. Senator Jeanne Shaheen introduces legislation that will strengthen students' understanding of student loan obligations. And development along Lebanon's Miracle Mile continues. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening, and welcome to this Tuesday edition of YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Talk about town charters in the Upper Valley continues, this time in Hartford, Vermont. The Select Board earlier had opted to name 2 chairmen to run the board, yet this goes against the town's charter. Instead, on Monday night, a chairman and a vice chairman were selected to lead the board, following earlier practice. Still, there may be some going back and forth between Alex DeFelice and Ken Parker regarding who actually is overseeing the board, the Valley News reports. Other board members appear lukewarm to the idea of a rotating leader, including former chairman Chuck Wooster. Wooster will now serve as the board's clerk. Calling it a grand experiment, Wooster told the paper that he is willing to give the new leadership structure a try. It's town meeting day in New Hampshire. Voters in towns large and small will vote on town and school budgets and residents who will lead those elected boards. YCN News will bring you the results of today's voting on Wednesday and throughout this week. This includes the race between Republican Joe Kinney and Mike Cryans for the Executive Council seat held by the late Ray Burton. Burton died in December after many years serving as District 1 representative to the Executive Council. When YCN News returns, we'll continue with more news.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
The good folks at H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating Oils want you to know that their philosophy is simple. Wow them with our service. Their EPA-certified technicians are ready to tackle your heating, cooling, or water conditioning system problem 24 hours a day. They take pride in having provided local customers with peace of mind for over 2/3 of a century.
Wow them with service. It's the H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating Oils way of doing business.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Development along Lebanon's Miracle Mile continues. A well-known company, Tractor Supply, is poised to open a location next year on this well-traveled highway. Members of the Lebanon Planning Board approved the final plan for the retail agricultural and horticultural chain on Monday night. Conditions on Tractor Supply include paying the cost to add and improve highway markings on the roadway, the Valley News reports. The Miracle Mile officially is the road from Route 4 west of Exit 19 on I-89. Traffic flow will be watched as the store is built. Tractor Supply's headquarters are in Brentwood, Tennessee. Its nearest store now is on Main Street in Claremont, New Hampshire. In all, Tractor Supply is located in 38 states, the paper reports. U.S. Senator Jeanne Shaheen of New Hampshire introduced legislation today that will strengthen students' understanding of student loan obligations. Under Shaheen's proposed Simplifying Access to Student Loan Information Act, students will have better access to signing up for different repayment options. The legislation calls for students to access all personal student loan information in one online location. This way, monthly bills and payments made can be tracked and managed better. Regularly viewing this online information also may give needed incentive to pay down the debt as quickly as possible.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
For fun, food, fashion, and après entertainment, the new experience at Stratton Village is part of a $7 million investment. Outfit your adventure with the latest from Burton, The North Face, Dashing Bear, or First Run. Fuel your days and nights with great food and drink from Fire Tower Restaurant and Tavern, Stratton Mountain Market and Deli, Mulligan's, or the Sushi Bar. Make any occasion special with a visit to Von Bargain's Fine Jewelry, pampering at the Stratton Day Spa. Make our home yours and see yourself slopeside. Welcome to Stratton Village.
YCN is now better to see with HD TV, over the air and on cable with 2 HD channels and online. In addition to our TDS 13 and Comcast 20 and 21, you can also find us at Comcast HD 712 and HD 713. Our award-winning local programs are all in high definition, complemented by our 4 program networks: Outside Television, Retro TV, Tough TV, and PBJ. YCN is your local view.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now Matt McDonald will have a look at our weather for the next 5 days, and he'll take a look at some local high school sports.
Thanks, Rose. Tomorrow we're expecting mixed precipitation, so be careful when driving. We'll have a high of 37 degrees with lows in the teens. Thursday we'll have snow showers with highs in the teens and a low of -2 degrees, so dress warm. Friday we'll have a high of 33 degrees with lows in the mid-20s. Saturday we're expecting some mixed precipitation and temperatures will rise to highs in the 40s and lows in the upper teens. Sunday we'll have highs in the 30s with lows down to 6 degrees. And now let's look at the northeastern and national radar maps. Now let's look at our community calendar. Tomorrow, the Walpole, New Hampshire Library is holding preschool story time at 10 a.m. At 5 p.m. tomorrow, Grantham, New Hampshire will be holding a town meeting. Norwich, Vermont will hold a selectmen's meeting at 6:30 p.m. And Brattleboro, Vermont is having West African dance classes at the Stone Church at 7 p.m. tomorrow night. Remember, you can submit local events from your community by sending them to news@ycnnow.com. And now let's look at the mountain snow conditions brought to you by Ski New Hampshire.
It's Sunday, March 9th, and we're at Cranmore Mountain Resort, enjoying some of the best conditions we've had in years. Believe it or not, we have more winter temperatures and snow filling the forecast. At this rate, you can plan on enjoying one of the best spring skiing seasons in recent memory. Our ski areas always strive to make learning to ski and snowboard as enjoyable as possible. Cranmore's new terrain-based learning program very well could be a look into the future of how our guests learn to ski and ride.
Terrain-based teaching is all about teaching people to slide on snow. We don't teach them how to stop. They're always afraid, I'm going to run into something, what am I going to do? So we have built elements to eliminate that fear of how am I going to stop? You're not going to need to stop. You know, eventually you're going to learn how to stop. But throughout the terrain-based teaching, you're going to learn to turn without stopping. The terrain is just built up in different shapes and sizes to control that.
Check out our spring skiing guide at skianh.com. It's loaded with new lift ticket deals, ski and stay packages, events, and much, much more. This is also the time to get the best price on 2014-15 season passes. Many of those include free skiing for the rest of this season, which is rather valuable when we have this much snow stockpiled. Also, be sure to keep visiting skianh.com for the latest snow conditions, weather forecasts, 4th and 5th grade snow sports passports, lodging information, mountain stats, and much more. 33 ski resorts, one stop, skianh.com.
And now let's look at the exciting Sunapee vs. Derryfield semifinals game. The Lakers and the Cougars fought it out at the Plymouth State University Gymnasium last night. With a few minutes into the game, Derryfield player Roger Larrabee makes the first basket of the game.
Berryfield working the ball now in their offensive end. Good fake, goes up with it, and gets it to fall. That's number 35, Roger Larrabee.
Sunapee soon gets in the game with the first of several three-pointers in the first half. Here is an outstanding play by Sunapee. Number 12, Matt Tenney swishes this three-point basket. Berryfield then makes a nice three-pointer to slowly gain score on Sunapee.
Shooting percentage not so good right now for, as I say that, he hits a three.
Well, they finally get one to go down.
Sunapee makes yet another beautiful play that gains them 3 points.
Here's the Cougars. Down low, knocked out of his hands, gets the ball back. Dished out, wide open three, Chappelle nails it.
By halftime, the score was 32-13, with Sunapee on top. With about 3.5 minutes left in the third quarter, Sunapee sets up another three-pointer for Matt Tenney.
Long shot by Tenney, and he hit it again.
In the last 30 seconds, gameplay was intense. There were several fouls and many chances for Sunapee to score on free throws. In the end, Sunapee was victorious, winning the game 68-61. Next, Sunapee will face Epping at noon on Saturday at Plymouth State University.
You're watching YCN, your local view, on WNMN DT40, serving Saranac Lake, New York and the Adirondack region. WYCX CD2, serving Manchester, Vermont in the Green Mountain State. WYCU LD26, serving Charlestown, New Hampshire in the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region of the Granite State. And on demand at YCNnow.com. YCN is your local view, owned and operated by Cross Hill Communications, LLC.